Good morning, and I hope you've been well, and this is part 122 of the Pokemon Rejuvenation V13.5 Let's Play. Set mode, no items, so yeah. So with that being said and done, let's get on with today's episode and meet up with everybody on down here. So let me heal real quick just in case. There shouldn't really be any more battles, but since this is a newer version, I don't really know what to expect, so yeah. But anyways, well, that was a crazy adventure. You guys go ahead and head to the spring. Everyone's at the spring. We thought we'd give them some space. You know what's weird though? Nastasia had 4 pods at the spring. Who is in the 4th pod? Great question. And what is he doing here? Will you two just get along? There's no need to fight. Alright, this scene. Ah, Alan, my friend, how are you doing? There's no problem here. Adam wanted to leave and now he's crawling back. I'm not crawling back. I'm here to help out my friends. Your new friends, I take it? Also, why do you look like that? They're my friends, but you're my friend too, and I don't know why I look like this. I just do. Would you two stop acting like children and make up already? Not until he apologizes. I'm not apologizing. I do like how, again, like, despite them being like polar opposites, you know, personality-wise, they definitely still have that stubbornness within them. Sigh. Make up now, yourselves, or I'll force you to. Life is too short to stay mad at each other over inconsequential circumstances, and I refuse to let this continue any longer. Wait, alright, calm down, sis. I'll make up. Yeah, no need to go all loco on us like that. We'll bury the hatchet. Yay, I knew you two could do it. Now let's see it. See what? I want to see you two make up right here, right now. And I want it to be genuine. So that's an interesting change. So, now to be fair, it's not really spoilers, technically, so I think I should be okay to say this. On previous versions, on like version 13 and some of the older versions, I mean like not like old, like I guess like, I don't know, like 9876, because like it didn't get up to this point within those like older versions, but I don't quite remember which one made it to the pyramid. I think like chapter 11 did, or chapter 12, or sorry, version 11, version 12, one of those two. I think version 12 actually. I don't quite remember, but the point is, back then she would actually like glow like gold pretty much, and she would have like this gold aura and golden eyes pretty much. They decided to take that away, which with the story stuff and whatnot, I think is the right decision to do, because for the longest time, like, you always kind of like wondered why she even had that to begin with. But now with that not really being a thing, I think it's the right, you know, decision to like take that away, because to me, you know, thinking about it more and more, it didn't really make sense why she had that to begin with. So yeah, but anyways, back then she was all like glowy, her eyes were all like gold, just waiting for them to apologize. But with this one, she's definitely more like stern and assertive about it, being like, hey, knock it off, you two. Stop this stupidity, stop being you for a moment and being stubborn and whatnot, and just like rock-headed. Make up already. Life's too short. Now, apologize. I think it would have been fun if she still, I don't know, maybe added like red eyes or something to make it a little bit goofy, but I think this personality, or like, not personality, but like the stance that she's going about, honestly fits her character the most, because again, she's not as like aggressive and mean like Damien, her brother. She's just a very kind woman pretty much, so I think it makes sense for her to like go about it like this instead. It still would have been funny to see her still have some sort of like, you know, like mad looking like eyes or something like that, you know, but I understand the changes, so yeah, just something that I thought about on the previous version just to talk about it. Look, I guess I was being a little childish. Yeah, you were. Truth is, I thought you just threw me away. I thought you didn't like us anymore. I didn't like what you were turning into, a guy hell-bent on revenge. Besides, I wanted to go on a self-discovery journey or whatever. Well, did you find yourself? Yeah, but I kinda had to turn into another person to do so. What does that mean? I'll tell you on the way on out of here, bro. If that's what you want. Sounds good to me, bro. Where are we going? Why don't we go chill outside? It's just sand outside. That's not cool, bro. Anywhere's cool with you there, bro. Bro. And being violent just isn't fitting for me either. But sometimes you gotta be assertive when you want things to go the way you want them to. Exactly like I mentioned earlier. She's just not, you know, somebody that's like mean and aggressive like her brother Damien. She just isn't really that. But, you know, she knows it all too well that, you know, those two could definitely just be stubborn to the end of time. So she's like, you know what? If nobody steps in and stops this, they will do this forever. So someone had to put their foot down, and she so happened to be the one to do it. When you want things to go the way you want them to. But I'm getting to Damien. He actually cooperated with a Team Zen admin because I asked him to. A year ago, he would have attacked without even asking any questions. Oh, speaking of which, that admin, Nastasia, she told me how you and Red took care of that rift. That means I have to follow up with my promise and give you information on Nim. Right now, I'm waiting for everyone to move out of this area. Once they do, Damien and I will do what we need to do. Sorry, I read that wrong. Need to and return home to Sashilla. You're welcome to stop by and inquire all you need when we do. Hey Alexandra, wait up. Sorry, I meant to give you this to you a while ago, but with all the chaos going on, I forgot to give it to you. It was a letter, sorry, by Nimra left me. I cannot read today. It was a letter Nimra left me back in the past, but I think the bulk of it is meant for you. A letter from Nimra. I see. Thank you for delivering this to me. I'll read it immediately. Oh hey, Rylan. Greetings, you two. Rylan, you're awake. Yes, that mystical spring made quick work of my recovery. For that I am grateful, but I am also ashamed. To think that I would attack two of my friends like that, it was shameful. Don't worry about it. Flora was controlling your actions, but I was still cautious. I could see and process all of it. I should have been strong enough to break free myself. Instead, I couldn't, and I almost cost the lives of your friends. Everything worked out in the end, Rylan. It's okay. Don't put the guilt on yourself. Besides, Flora and Bladestar is finished. We won't have to worry about them any longer. I suppose you're right, no use staying in the past. That being said, I would like to give both of you something for saving me. Alana received the Pyramid Point badge, as well as this TM. That's a pretty good team right there. Awesome, thanks Rylan. What are you going to do now? Well, first, I like to speak with my brother again. After that, I think I'll make my way to the top of the pyramid and act as a guard. Now that the pyramid is open, I don't know if it can be closed. That leaves something like the Jewel of Life open to anyone who desires it. I cannot allow such an important artifact be taken by anyone. That's a good idea. Will you be okay by yourself up there? I'm no stranger to isolation. I spent most of my days alone at Alamissa. This won't be different from that, just with a better sense of purpose. Good luck out there, Rylan. We'll be rooting for you. And you. Alan, the others look like they're ready to be awakened soon. Let's greet them together. So before I do that... Oh, I guess she's not... I thought back then on older versions you get to speak with... What's her name? Alexandra. Oh. Okay, I guess it changed now, but yeah, no, she's not even out here. Great TM, or TM, memory. It was so horrible, water started pouring out of those pipes. Then all of a sudden, grass started growing out of the ground and trees started sprouting. I read that wrong, sorry, but it's okay. I hate nature. Why is this happening? A tree grew in front of our door. What are we gonna do? Well, we better get an axe or something. And... oh. I guess you can get a Riolu over here. I'm pretty sure we already have the shiny one from the one thing. But I guess if you want a Riolu, sorry, then here you go. So let me... do I? Yeah, I do. Hold up. The problem is it's like level 5. I don't know why I'm trying to use a Premier Ball, but I guess that worked. I'll name it Kata later. Oh, right, hold up. Isn't there a... oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, here we go. Unless I'm going crazy. Can't you find one of the starters over here? Like in the grass area? I don't quite remember. Codney's a pretty good Pokemon. It'll pass for now. Oh, yeah, I'll capture you. I just don't know if you... well, I mean, I could just Sky Uppercut. That's okay. I don't know if I'd ever really use a Claydol, but I do want the shiny. But I don't know if I'm going crazy. I thought there was a starter you can get over here. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me pause for a moment. Okay, yeah, sorry. Here we go. It didn't take too long to get one. You can actually get yourself a Snivy in this grass at this point if you do want one. Of course, I am looking for every single starter within the game as a shiny, so I'll just run away from now and come back here to shiny hunt it at another point. But yeah, if you do want a Snivy, you can get one here. Okay, so enough of that. Right, is Rylan at... yes. I'll protect the Jewel of Life with all of my strength. I believe it is an ample punishment for getting too hasty and joining Bladestar anyways. Until we meet again, Alon. Cool, cool. Well, best of luck up there. Okay. Now we'll get started with all of this. Right, hold up. Now we'll get started. Now I know there's definitely gonna be a lot of dialogue here, so... well, definitely it looks pretty here. I see Alexandra and Damien in the corner. Right. I do like the animation, because like, it's something that I brought up on multiple, like, scenes within the game. That, I don't know who does, like, the, like, sprite animation stuff. I think it's Zumi, but I know she does, like, the art and whatnot with, like the art scenes, the chapter scenes, like the sprites and pixel stuff and whatnot. I know she does some of that quite a bit, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if she does the animations, though. Whoever does it, it's honestly, like, really cool. I like how, like, how do I want to word it? Like, it's like, I'm wording my words weird. Here's something that I've always said throughout different, like, points within the series. It's something that isn't needed, but they go the extra mile to add those extra details, and I really think it makes it all the better. It's just what I'm trying to say. It's a really cool addition overall. That, again, It is unnecessary, but it's really cool that they would go that far to add those kind of like details. Something as simple as her being this like water like sucks and whatnot. So yeah. Anyways, that water's so salty and nasty. Malie, huh? Bleh. Seriously, I can't get that taste out of my mouth. What the? Who are you? Aaron. Aaron, I was so worried. I thought I lost you for good. Huh? Alita? Where am I? It's okay now. You're gonna be okay. That's right. I was in that explosion in back at the Grand Dream Ball. I remember right when that happened, a bright golden light appeared. I think that light shielded me, and I think that light came from me. But if I was caught in that explosion, then what am I doing here? A bunch of us came together to save you. Alon, Rihanna, Hugh, Ren, and a bunch of others. They all did that for me? But of course we did, Aaron. We love you. Love's a strong word for me. I have no idea who this girl is. She's my sister. Erin is my sister. Malia. Sister? What? Isn't that right, Erin? Yeah. Please explain because I'm about to pass out. It happened back at the Blakery Anthem. Now, I think I brought it up on the one episode where you play as Malia and venture around at night with Aaron. I think I wanted to talk about some certain things, but I didn't want to like jump the gun on a certain scene, and now here it is here, just to kind of like say that if anybody remembers that from that episode. Hey Aaron, you mind if I ask you a weird question? Go for it. I'll answer to the best of my ability. Do you remember when we first met? It was in Dark Lake Woods, right? Yeah. Do you remember what you did when you saw me? You freaked out and asked if all of this was some kind of joke. Yeah, I remember. You want to ask why I reacted so harshly, right? Uh-huh. I've been curious about it ever since, but I thought it would be rude to bring it up. So you're taking advantage of this bonding experience to interrogate me. That's smart. Sorry, you read me like a book, but it's still the truth. Alright, I'll bite. I freaked out because you scared me. I scared you? Ever since I was a little girl, I've had a reoccurring dream. In the dream, I'm at what looks to be a fashion show. It's my turn to walk down the runway, but that's where things get weird. The dress I wore was the exact one I first saw you in. That's all? Aaron, I'm sure that dress is really common. Nothing to get all freaked out about. No, not quite. In the dream, the dress had a subtle E sketched on the front. And when I meant subtle, I meant almost impossible to notice unless you knew where it is. When I saw you that day, I saw the E immediately. That is very weird. Coupled with the fact that, well, in my dream, I have my natural hair color, which is blonde. So when I looked at you, I thought I saw myself. That's why I freaked. Oh. But then I heard you speak and said there's no way I'd have such an annoying voice. Very funny. So now that I answered, allow me to take advantage of the situation. It's only fair. Ask away. Will you guys leave when this is all over? Huh? You mean when we defeat Team Zen? Yeah, when everything's over. Will you guys leave? To tell you the truth, I haven't really thought of what would happen after all of this. I suppose we'd all go our separate ways. We're only traveling together like this because we're trying to stop Team Zen whenever we can. I see. Now, it's kind of like an odd thing, because it's like, she's not wrong when Malia, like, says something like that, you know? But it would have been nice if, I guess, like, she would have worded that better, you know? Because it's like, I think there's more to our friendship than just stopping Team Zen, like, you know? Like, again, with like Venom, Ren, Aaron, like all the others. I mean, I'm sure like some of them that are like friends probably would like drift apart a little bit. It's just something that, you know, happens in everyday life, unfortunately, but it's just a part of growing up. But I assume like the closest of friends would still, you know, try to like stick around when they can. So I don't know. I think it could have been worded better, but that's just me being stupid though. I see. I'm going to tell you something, but I want you to promise you won't say it to everyone else. A little before Alita came into my life and everything was thrown into chaos, I planned on killing myself. Aaron! There was no one in this world that cared about me. I was drifting along with no purpose. I felt as though the world would be better off if I had just disappeared. All I had was Old Man Soda, and I don't think he cared for me one bit. When his business was up, he gave Alon their badge and left without saying goodbye. What were those years I spent with him then? Did they mean nothing? Aaron, of course they meant something. Why would he look after you if there wasn't anything? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. And every time I try to make a new friend, I'm always just so bitter towards them. But I can't help it. I can't shake the irrational fear of everyone leaving me. With you guys, though, it's different. That anxiety I have about being lonely disappears. When I contribute to an investigation, it feels like I'm actively being useful for a good cause. I feel like I have purpose, something worth living for. People I care about. Aaron, I promise no matter what, we'll never leave you. Alita, Alan, Hugh, Lavender, Venom. Even if we're only been friends for a short time, we'll never leave you because we cherish you as friends. You're a part of our group now, a cherished member. I'm glad. I'm glad you're my friend. My lovely children, how I adore you. No matter what, remember this feeling. Through your sadness, my warmth will bring you hope. Remember me, don't forget. That was... Then you heard it too. Does that mean you also remember that voice? I know who it was. It was our mother. That bond we shared, it was a memory. It was so vivid yet so vague. I couldn't make it out and I couldn't see her, but I don't know why I'm so sure of it, but that was our mother. There's no evidence of this other than that moment, but Aaron, you were talking about a golden light earlier, right? Yeah, I remember something like that happening during the blast. I wonder if that's the same thing that happened to me in the alternate world. Hmm. I like a I like a Nastasia's like listening somewhere. Speaking of that, I don't even know where she is, but she's somewhere around here. Malia has a sister, Aaron has a sister. You guys are related. My head is about to explode. Your head, mine already feels like it exploded. I'm so dizzy. You still must be exhausted from all of this. Let's take you outside. Actually, Alita, could you escort Aaron out? I'd like to talk to Ren for a second. Of course. Now, I don't really think there's a lot I could really get into with, like, the Golden Light situation, because, like, there's not really, like, a spoiler rant I could really, like, get into, but I guess, like, I could, like, talk about it a little bit, you know? So, it's a, like, man, I've been wording my words wrong today and messing up. It happens. It's okay. But go back to like Vitus and the 4 kids, right? You have Maria, Alan, Alice, and Irina, right? It's something that I pointed out before. I won't get into theories, but it's something that I pointed out before. Keep in mind, Maria. Technically, Maria is the child, not Malia. So there is something odd kind of going on with that. I've gone on theories about it before, but again, I'm not doing that here. I want to get out of and stay away from spoiler territory stuff. But you kind of like know that, you know, throughout the story, you learn that they had 4 kids, and whatchamacallit, Anitha pretty much, because of Gardevoir messing things up, stopped Anitha and got Vitus back on track with his goals pretty much. And I'm trying to word my words really vaguely without spoiling stuff, you know, heavily. I mean, like, I, give me a moment actually to word my words right. Okay, let me try this direction. So, you know, like the archetype was given to, you know, Anitha, the original, you know, mother. They had the 4 kids, and I assume because of them hugging, like the archetype that's within, you know, Malia and Aaron, like being like connected and close to one another, you know, manifested pretty much that light, and you know their mother pretty much saying all of that to them. So if there's a little bit of confusion on all of that, hopefully that kind of like explains it a little bit. It shouldn't really be super confusing, but I know there's some players that again that are more new to the game, it can get really complicated and really confusing. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. There's not really a point of me doing like a spoiler rant on that, so yeah, just a little like rant there. But anyways, um, hey, um, hey, listen, I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry. What? Sorry, now what? Wait, no. Oh my god, I cannot read today. What? You're sorry? I had that right and I said wait. I'm sorry. Delpha told me everything you've done to try and save me, or at least tried to save someone you thought was me. And Rihanna and Hugh told me everything you've done to help up to this point. I wanted to say sorry because I never gave you a chance to explain yourself all the way back at Heliojack Island. I was dumb and a terrible friend. I still don't know why you're a part of Team Zen, but I trust your motives. Thanks, Malia. That means a lot. Friends? Friends. By the way, who is Delpha? Oh boy, it's kind of a long story. For a moment. Okay. That's interesting. I gotta say, I really like how like they've redone this area. It's really nice. But also seeing Alexandra, Damien, Ren, Delpha, Nastasia, Alita, Alice, Alan, Irina there. Well, like Irina next to Alita and Alice next to Alan. And then Malia at the top area. You seem to be doing well, you know, despite you trying to kill me. Irina, I am so sorry about what I've done. Uh, not Alon, sorry. Alan gave me a harsh scolding, and I'm ready to atone for the things I've done. You can start by not calling me Irina. Where did you even hear that name? You truly don't remember, do you? Aaron, that is your birth name, given to us by our father. Our? That would mean, yes, the 4 of us are from the same family. We're family. Our father trapped 3 of us in the unknown's dimension, and he made Alice believe that she was the ruler of a fake kingdom. However, one day Aaron escaped the dimension, which caused Alice to become angered. I like the little like dots there by Nastasia too, just kind of like listening in about this whole thing. Because like, that's the thing too, because like it's got to be like interesting to like see like Nastasia like think about those kind of things because well is it really spoilers? Not really. I mean, I guess I could do a slight spoiler warning just in case. It's not really heavy spoilers, but I guess I should do it just in case. So if you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. Go to the comment section below. So yeah. Okay, so I guess we are in spoiler territory. It shouldn't really be anything heavy, but I'll do the warning just in case. So if you don't want to listen, that's fine. So go back to when we first arrived in Kyugirin City. The events kind of like play out, but then Maria gets kidnapped. Anastasia, as a child, being like worried sick about her best friend, and with her having like this really like just timid personality as like a young child, pretty much. And now, like seeing her here, it's like, wait a minute. Malia, Alice, Alan, Arena. Where's Maria? I don't know if that's what she's thinking. Maybe she's just kind of like connecting the dots. But it's something that I've always thought with each and every admin. One of them like stated that all of them came together and shared their goals, but there were a few that did not do it. And if I'm not mistaken, Anastasia was one of them that did not say her goals and her desires by joining the, organization that is Team Zen. If I had to guess, a big part of it would have to be for Maria finding her long lost friend. Now I know, again, like there's big theories with, Madam X being Maria or Marionette. Putting that aside for a moment, because like the reason like I brought that up is like maybe like she is well aware that Marionette is Madam X and they're just like chilling and vibing and whatnot. But putting that to the side for a moment, I would assume that with her like thinking like that, probably just like thinking about like the four like siblings, just thinking about Maria for an example. I might be right, I might be wrong and just overthinking it, but I think it's like worthwhile to at least like put it on the table. And if it isn't that, then I mean, it literally could be like a million different things. It could be just like, all right, I just want to go back to my laptop, or yada yada yada. It literally could be anything. So yeah, but we'll leave it at that for now. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. I had to go do something. But anyways, this is a lot to take in, but I don't feel like it's wrong. Where do we go from here? I don't know much about Father anymore, but I know for a fact that we were meant to reunite here. I don't mean to interrupt your family reunion, but we have business to attend to. We have guests coming. What? This is new. Interesting. I'm curious on how this is going to play out. Nastasia, you called. What is going on here? Do you remember me, Doc? I don't need a translator anymore. The Braxton. Everyone, the doctor here is responsible for supplying us with the pods that so graciously saved the lives of three, But according to Delpha, this doctor has also been performing malpractice and dubious experiments on your friends, which include Delpha and your old friend Lavender. What? I actually don't care about any of that. That is such a Damien thing to say. Just him being like, I don't care at all. Like, this is your guys' problem. It's not mine. I only care about my sister and my people in Sashila Village. You all work it out. That is super like goofy and wild to say in front of, especially like Alexandra. That is so wild but funny. I don't know why I found it like funny, but it just is. I actually don't care about any of that. Damien. But I can't turn a blind eye to torture. At least like, like Alexandra's like, are you serious right now? So at least like now like his attitude changed, like, oh, alright, let me change it up a little bit. But I can't turn a blind eye to torture. You're not getting away this time, Isha. Brother, sisters, I believe this is something we can handle ourselves. Most definitely. With my speed, he won't escape. With my Absol, I'll cut him in half even if he tries anything like that. Wait, wait, don't do anything. That insignia. Okay, so that is so interesting. So they've like re-changed it with the older version because that is so interesting. It's not really a spoiler warning, but I kind of want to talk about like the older version on what like I cannot speak today, man. On like what like went down with that. So on the older version, like V13.5, etc., etc. Um, the four siblings like they get together. Alice is like all cheerful and playful, like, oh well, I know how we could see if we're actually family. Let's all like hold hands and like hug each other, whatever she said. They did that, and then the insignia like formed. Dr. Isha, remember, was never here during like their version 13 and backwards. This is a new addition to the story to have Isha here and now, which I go back and forth. It's an interesting change, but it's really weird with me. I like things from the older version, but I also like what they've done with the newer version with him. It's really tricky. So I'm curious on what direction this is going to go into, having him in the picture at this given point. But anyways, yeah, it's a really interesting change. So instead of them just being like, well, let's just test it out and see if we're all related, and then they formed that, now it's like, oh, let's go after him. But because of all four of them like wanting to like, you know, go against a certain person, again, it didn't have to be Isha. It could literally be anybody, you know, that they wanted to go up against. Just cause the bond to form the insignia. And yeah, really interesting how the two are like different. Really interesting. Right, and of course Malia is going to be red, right? Okay, so it literally like went after him. Malia, are you okay? Hey, get up. Oof, my head. I feel awful. Excuse me there. Okay, what the hell was that? I like how like Nastasia, not only like Nastasia, but like Alexandra still like, whoa. That was like the insignia with her hands like over like her mouth pretty much. And then Nastasia, can it be? So it seems even like Nastasia is like, she knows about it too, on what that means. I'm gonna pass out. Whoa, whoa, careful. Where is Isha? Did he escape? He's in the pyramid somewhere. He was teleported somewhere. I'll catch him myself then. I better go make sure she doesn't go too nuts. Whatever we did had practically no effect on us, but Malia can barely stand. I'm better now, thanks. I can walk. Listen, I know this was all a lot, but I need you to pay attention. Aaron, was it? Alan, and Alice. Could you give Malia, Ren, Alon, and I just a little bit of space? Sure. Let's go. Well, that's interesting. Because, like, back then, on the older version, again, not spoilers, but just how it played out, like, Nastasia did, like, something, like, similar, like, okay, like, I don't mean to, like, ruin your reunion, but you all need to leave. Go. And then Ren's like, but why? And then Anastasia's like, no buts here. Out. All of you, out. I don't want you in this pyramid anymore. Go. Shush. Or not shush, but like shoo. Go away. And we all kind of like left the pyramid. And we had like this like goofy little like scene like outside like talking about like Blade Star making jokes about Flora. and talking about how the desert really sucks and everyone needs like a shower and whatnot. But it seems they, well, that might still happen afterwards, hopefully. Um, at least like some sort of like goofy thing about that, like previous versions, but they're changing it a little bit that for some reason she wants to talk about something. And I'm curious to what that is. I don't know if it's about the insignia or something. Truth be told, I brought Isha with us so that he could bring back spring water. Interesting. So he could bring back spring water. But for what though? Gira? Question mark? But why not just bring the pot in there? I'm kind of confused about that. Hold up. Alright, sorry for the pause there. I just want to go back to this point. I don't mean to interrupt your family reunion, but we have business to attend to. We have guests coming. So maybe like earlier when they were having like that conversation, maybe she was like, instead of like my one theory, maybe she was just like texting Isha to come on in here. That might have been actually what it was. But anyways, Nastasia, you called. What is going on here? Do you remember me, Doc? I don't need a translator anymore. The Braxton. Saved the lives of V3. Malpractice and dubious experiments on your friends. I'm just gonna skip that. Okay. Can it be? I want to get to the one line with Nastasia. Truth be told, I brought Isha with us so that he could bring back spring water. Oh, okay. No. Okay. Because, like, I got, like, confused for a second because I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, to get, like, the spring water. Like, you brought him in here and you guys, like, her and Anastasia kind of, like, set him up pretty much to, like, go after him. And it's like, but you set him up, not for the spring water. But no, I get it. I think she's meaning more so initially, I brought him here on the airship with the pods and to test the water. But now that I've learned what he's done with Pokemon and all the malpractice and whatnot, now it's like, okay, things are different. Let's take care of this guy. But that's the weird thing, though, because it's like Dr. Isha isn't really Team Zen per se, but they have connections. And Team Zen has definitely done a lot of harm to like people in Pokemon as is. So it's like, why would something like that even matter to like Nastasia? That she would like, go through with this and actually like call him out. Because like you would think the Team Zen he would be valuable to them as like a doctor. So it's like, why? But again, that also goes into that one longtime viewer's theory. Yeah, it does. Okay. Um, I guess another like slight spoiler on that. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. Go to the comment section below. So, yeah. All right, heavy spoilers here. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. Go to the comment section below. So, yeah. Now, like I brought up before, credit to the longtime viewer for this theory. It's a really like creative and smart one that he's come up with. So he's brought up the idea that Anastasia is like a double agent, possibly with the Storm Chasers, and again like working with Team Zen, but in reality, she is more so working with like the Storm Chasers than us. But of course, she can't really outright say that to us. The more that I think about it and seeing more scenes, it just makes more and more sense. Because with the doctor thing, why would she do that if it wasn't to help us? And again, why would she be helping us? That's like a huge thing to like do, on top of all the other things she's done. that I pointed out on different like spoiler theories on different videos about her. So yeah, it's like really interesting, honestly. That's the only thing that I could think of with that scene. It's really like cool because like again, like at the beginning, she's like, "Yeah, I don't really care about the doctor, whatever." But then, as she learned that this doctor has been doing stuff to our friends and to other Pokemon and whatnot, she's like, "Okay, I see. I won't let that stand." But that's the tricky thing because it's like, how would, you know, like I know like Cassandra like knows about the secret with like Dr. Isha with like his father and whatnot, which I assume like we'll get into that soon. Well, I don't know how we're gonna get into that actually because he's now in the pyramid. So like, does that change that entire scene with like you going down in his laboratory, finding Labrador and like that pod thing? How does that work with him in the pyramid? But then maybe they did change it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they would, but regardless, we'll see when we get there how that's all gonna play out. Because I know about the 8-bit Doctor quest, but I thought that was something that happened after that whole event. So it's kind of odd that they would like take out that whole thing in the story. But anyways, enough of that. Back to this. It's like an interesting thing because it's like again like Cassandra and even like Madam X, like you would think like one of them, where I'm trying to like get at is like you would think one of them would be like, why Anastasia, what are you doing? Who cares if he's doing that? We kind of needed that doctor. You would think people would get suspicious of that kind of behavior. Yes, no, I don't really know. At least like if I was like Madam X for an example, I would be like, why? But I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. That's just my thought process. But that would be my guess though. She's just helping us out potentially because she's actually helping us, but she can't outright say it, of course. So if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Well, I should say if that long-time viewer's theory is right, then he's right. And to me, it makes total sense. But time will tell, I guess. But with that being said and done, we're out of spoiler territory. So yeah. Okay. Like I mentioned a few moments ago, we're out of spoiler territory. Okay. With us so that he could bring back the spring water. I'm sure you all have realized besides Gira, there were 4 pods on the ship. One for Alan, one for Alice, one for Aaron, apparently. Right, because like she originally thought it was Malia, but in fact it was Aaron. And it was kind of hard to tell the difference because of just probably like the explosion and the blonde hair, and she was just rushing for time, so it makes sense why she would think that's Malia because they probably look a little bit identical to like her if you're moving like quickly. Oh wait, I just saw the text there. As for the last one, it's Venam. That's an interesting change because like what I mentioned earlier was like back then like she was shooing them off like go, I don't want you in here anymore. I didn't really go on to why that was, but I guess now I can because they mentioned the name Venom. On the older version, after you go through, going through the hospital, hunting down Dr. Isha, defeating him in his laboratory, experimental area, whatever you want to call it, getting him arrested, you all like within like the city are like excited like we did like a good thing today, but then Venom appears and then Malia doesn't like realize it for a moment and then she freaks out, hugs her, and then that's how it ends. Which I guess like they've cut back on a lot of that then, which is really an interesting decision, I guess. Let me just keep playing it for now. Venom. That means the water here can. Yeah, let's welcome her back together, guys. Bleh. Crappy salt water. God, that taste is going to be in my mouth for months. Huh? Interesting. Venom. A few days later. Oh wow, so then... Okay. Oh Alon, I was just coming to see you. Finally was discharged from the hospital after all that mess with Isha. So yeah, they actually did. They literally like scrapped it. Let me just read the dialogue real quick. Delpha, Hugh, and Rihanna are all at the pyramid still searching for Isha. I'll be making my way over there to help with the search. After all, that man needs to be brought to justice after what he's done. That aside, I wanted to come thank you for everything you've done. The spring water you all found is being used to care for all the patients that have been turned to stone. Talon's up and at 'em too, and it's been so wonderful to see. One day I would like to make it up to you guys. So I just came to say thanks and tell you that I'll have your back when you need it most. Thanks again, Alon. Goodbye. That is so... interesting. Hey Alon. I guess we'll do this real quick. Looks like the whole crew's back and ready to rumble, huh? Hey, don't jump on the couch. Rhodia's gonna kill us. Oops. Screw you, Alon. I cannot believe we're back here after so much time, and to be here with Venom again, I'm so happy. My mom could barely hold herself together. My dad nearly passed out. I really made people worry. Yes, but that's just how stuff like this goes, you know. People care about you. Look, Amber and Tesla even made you a card. Which reminds me, I have to apologize to Tesla about the whole Charizard thing. You apologize. Am I dreaming here? You're not dreaming. I've had a lot of time to think. It wasn't that long, but during my time I was turned to stone, it felt like I was drifting. I thought about how horrible I've been and how my choices brought B to the point? I think that's meant to say me to that point, not B to that point. I thought it was the end for me. I don't want to be a burden anymore, or else I'll end up right where I started, sorry. That very well may be the case, but the fact that you're recognizing that you haven't been great is already a step forward. And not everyone will forgive you right away, but if you work on it, I'm sure you'll shape yourself into a better person in no time. Working, that's gonna suck, but it'll be worth it. Thanks Alon, Malia, I'll do my best. And do your best you must. Canon, what happened to you? Rihanna told me about this. The Canon we knew was just a persona. Canon's real identity is a servant of Nimra, Alexandra as of now. Uh-huh. Anyway, do you mind getting down from there? I literally just wiped this table down this morning. This will only take a second. I'm only here to relay a message from Lady Alexandra. She wishes for the following people to visit her at her home in Sashila Village: Alon, Alita, Malia, Alan, Alice, Ren, and finally, Aaron. Alita and Ren are already accounted for, so that leaves the rest of you, sorry. What does she want? Is it important? Sashila is kind of far from here. Alexandra did not specify what this encounter would entail, but if transportation is a worry, do not. I can personally escort all of you if that's most convenient to you. May I come along as well? Alexandra did not specifically invite you, but you may wait outside of the room as the meeting goes on. That's fine with me. Okay, I'll go gather the others. Cannon, do you mind waiting here? And by here, she means off the table, preferably in the lobby. Very well, I will make my way there now. The teleporting is kinda neat. I wonder what Alexandra wants. If she's gathering all of us, it's probably something big. And I haven't even begun to delve into the case of Amanda. Just what I need. Amanda? What's wrong with her? For now, let's just gather Alice, Alan, and Aaron, okay? Gotcha, let's go. So, yeah, if we start that, that's going to get into chapter 15, which I don't want to do right now. Oh man, here's the thing, that's pretty much going to be the main thing for the episode. At this point, it's just going to be me ranting about my feelings about the chapter and talking about side quest stuff for the next few episodes. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. So yeah, again, if you don't want to listen, that's fine. It's pretty much the end of the episode. Love you guys, take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you all in the next episode. But if you want to continue watching and listening to my opinions and whatnot, then I'm going to go into some heavy ranting here, so yeah. So it's something that I've talked about before within Terajuma and different parts of the game, that I enjoy the additions to the game. I love them. There's a lot of amazing stuff that they've added with details and scenes and dialogues and yada yada yada. But I go back to the age-old thing that I've said time and time again. I don't understand why they take away as well. I don't get that. It's not that I don't like the pyramid scene and whatnot. Like, I love a lot of the additions. Like, it makes, like, with like Alice, for example, I still don't know why she was going all like wild, being like no, instead of like being like playful as she used to be, you know, with the unknown. I guess it's more so she doesn't want to be the person that she was within the unknown dimension. Like, I guess from that angle, I guess, okay, sure, I can get that then. But I really like the Game Boy thing, for an example. That was a really cool addition instead of that one puzzle. So, because like it allowed, you know, Alice and Alan to have more to them. So I do like that addition. I think that's a good one. You go through the, you know, pyramid and whatnot. You see the Alita battle with Alice, which is really cool. You see the Rayquaza obliterate the Bladestar grunts. That was cool. You know, Bladestar taking over the top, getting the Jewel of Life. Flora took over Rylan with the one thing from that one quest. I forgot exactly, what was it, like the Evil Root or whatever it was. I thought that was a really cool addition to like play on that into the Rylan scene. That was a really cool detail that they added. And the whole battle scene with like breaking the mask, clearing Kira, like all of that, like adding some new stuff but still sticking to the same formula. It was really cool. I like how they went about that. But here's where I kind of falter on my opinions being so high about all of that. It kind of falls off a little bit. I like the scene with everybody going through, you know, like the water and yada yada yada. The Dr. Isha scene is interesting. I get it because it plays off of the idea of the 8-bit Doctor, I guess. Now, let me go about the Doctor first, and then I'll go on to the whole Venom thing. If what they're doing is setting up a thing potentially for V14, V15 maybe, that in the future, like, I think after that quest he gets arrested and then he says something like, oh, I'll be back and you'll see what I'm have like up my sleeve or yada 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 before being like arrested. I think it was something like that. Pretty much that scene that happened on the original version where you went through the hospital going after Dr. Isha, stopping him from all of that and getting him arrested kind of happens, but it's different. It's no longer at the hospital but at the pyramid. He gets arrested, I believe, and then gives off the warning and then goes off to jail or whatever. So if they're going to play off of that and then go into the whole story about him being crazy, with not even like not only like Isha being within the body, but Dr. Isaiah the father as well. Because like that's the big thing that I don't understand why they changed, because that's a big thing that they had for the longest time with this with some of the older versions, was when you went to save Lavender, because like she was pretty much like abducted within, you know, the hospital down below. You find out about Isha having two personalities and two different minds, his father and himself. Now you kind of like, you don't really have that anymore. I mean, with the 8-bit doctor, I think that's a thing within it still, but I don't know. I kind of like, I was under the assumption like the whole thing happened, but then for some reason after that whole ordeal he escaped, made it back to the pyramid because he wanted the water pretty much to try to, you know, help his incurable disease. And then something kind of happened that he ended up in the Game Boy Alice's World thing, whatever you want to word or call it. And that's when the group kind of like goes after him a second time pretty much because of his initial escape. So again, they changed it, and now that's the main thing, no longer going about it within the hospital. I don't know. Alright, sorry for the pause there, I'm back now, I had to go do something, but no, yeah, it's just, I guess just like to summarize it real quick, I really wish that they wouldn't have changed the older version with going after Dr. Isha. It made it more, like, I guess, I don't know if like suspenseful is like the word, but like, and I don't want to, like, it's hard to word, but and maybe it's just because I played like the older version so many more times that I'm just so used to that, and that's where my mindset's coming from. I don't really know, but I feel like the older way, going into the hospital, Aaron setting him up, and then, you know, doing all of that to go after him and to stop him, it just made more sense to me than this one. So yeah, I don't know. It would have been like, I'm not against the whole 8-bit Doctor quest, like that is all fine, but I'm more so like, why take out the one thing out? Because like, again, that was a really big thing, learning his secret that he isn't just Isha, he's also Isaiah the father, because of the whole, you know, brain thing that they did, where you find that one room within Hiyoshi City. So yeah, now unless, again, like I mentioned earlier, if I'm not mistaken, they plan to like do something with that but on one of the newer versions, then okay, that would be fine with me. But if they kind of don't, then I feel like that's kind of like a letdown a little bit about that whole scene, like changing that just for him like to just run around like that. I don't know. It's really weird because it's like, I feel like I'm just ranting and, I don't know, like critiquing something that isn't that big of a deal, but it's just my opinion. I don't know. I like the older one better in my opinion. I wish they would have kept that in, but still somehow integrated the 8-bit Doctor quest in some way, shape, and form, but it is what it is. But probably the most disappointing part, in my opinion, is the whole Venom thing. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't like sounding negative and like critiquing too much, but I go back to like different scenes like Terajuma, where you're at the rock concert, which I think the rock concert is like a cool idea, but I wish they would have like not have Venom be like shown. But let's say like you get into the concert area, Venom shows up, and then Malia like freaks out and whatnot, Venom freaks out, and like they have like that emotional moment. But now within the new version, it's like, oh wait, a ghost, I thought you were dead. Like the weight isn't really there anymore, like the older version where Malia walked in, where Venom was just like have like these like bass boosted like stereos pretty much, and then they kind of like have like that momentous like reunion pretty much. But I don't know, like it didn't hit as hard on like the Terajuma Island with that scene And of course, there's other scenes that I pointed out as well, but I'm not here to get into those. Sticking to Venom, I feel like they kind of like water that down a little bit, because like going back to the doctor scene, I really enjoyed it how, again, well, like I mentioned before, let me start with this, where Nastasia is like, go away, I don't want you here anymore, go. I like that because like Nastasia, again, that's totally a Nastasia thing to do, that she would be like, all right, go away, shoo off, I don't want you in here. Because like her initial idea was, I don't know if it's going to work on stone, so if it does work, cool, if it doesn't, then whatever, I tried. So yeah, but with this one, it's as if like they already knew that it would have worked somehow. I don't really know how, but yeah, I don't know. It just, after the whole, like, again, them shooing you off, here's like another scene that they took out, where you were all like gathered outside of the pyramid. You made jokes about like needing like a shower and making fun of like Flora and Bladestar and yada yada yada. They took that away too, which was like a fun little like conversation, which I don't know why they took that away. But anyways, they took that out. You go to the apartment. Delpha is in here with Aaron. You start up the quest with going after, you know, Dr. Isha. You chase him around, go underneath, beat him, you save Lavender. He gets arrested, and then afterwards, you see Venom, you know, walk into like the city area, and Malia doesn't quite realize it, and then she like freaks out. Venom gives her a hug, and then we get to the scene. I feel like so much at that end was just cut out, and I don't know why. I go back to what I said before, that I'm not trying to sound negative, I'm not trying to sound like nitpicky or whatever you want to call or word it, but I love this game. It's my second favorite family game of all time. Just because there's things that I disagree and don't really like doesn't mean that I hate the game. I love this game. This game has gotten me through some really difficult times, you know, growing up as like a teen and whatnot. So it's like, I've been with this game for so many years, you know, and I appreciate and I love and I respect everything that has been done with this game, with all like the devs and just everybody that's helped with this game. There is no fan-made game of Pokemon that has gone to the level that Rejuvenation has done, and I stand behind that. It goes above and beyond the norm. I love this game. I love the character development. I love the story, the atmosphere, the sprites, like just everything about it. I can go on and on about it. But just because, you know, I love something doesn't mean that, you know, one cannot critique and have some criticism and have dislikes with it. That's just where I'm coming from. Alright, I'm back. Had to go do something, but that's just my opinion. That's my thoughts on it. People can agree, people can disagree. That's totally okay. It's not a bad thing to disagree with what I'm saying. But that's just my opinion. I just, again, like, you bring it up to like this really like this high momentous moment, but then you just kind of like take stuff out and change it. And like, I'm not saying changes are bad, but like, it's like I brought it before, like, I'm not necessarily mad at like the additions of like scenes and whatnot. I'm just upset that a lot of the dialogue here and there seems like watered out or even like taken out. And I don't understand why that direction. Is it a thing because of them, you know, remapping the entire Grand Dream City, that doing the whole doctor thing would have, excuse me, would like affect that, you know? Sorry, just coughing and allergies. I don't know what sound I just made there, but yeah, I don't know, would it affect with like the mapping and whatnot? I'm not a game, you know, developer. I'm not smart with those kind of things, so it's like I don't know. I don't know. If so, then I guess I get it, but still, I don't understand. Even like some of like the other like dialogue scenes, like I just, like, again, like going like outside the pyramid, talking with them, joking about stuff and whatnot. Like, I don't know why you would like take that out. I don't know. I don't know. I love this chapter for the most part. There were a lot of, you know, great additions, great changes, but there's just some things that I'm just like, I don't know why that direction. With the Dr. Isha thing, if they plan to like add more to it with the identity of like his father and whatnot being like a part of it, then I guess cool. But if not, then it's like, it just seems like kind of like a letdown if they don't add anything in the future potentially with all of that, since they kind of like made that a whole thing within the older versions with, again, raiding the hospital, going after him, and then again summarizing the Venom thing. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad scene, you know, like seeing her at the water and all of us like happy being all like around her, Anastasia in the corner. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying the older version, in my eyes, just did it better, and I don't know why they would change that. Even if like you take out the doctor thing, it would have been cool. Like, they still do the thing about, you know, shooing us on out. We all gather outside the pyramid. We meet up here, talk about certain things, and then you have like a surprise visitor coming up the elevator, and then you have that reunion. I don't know, it just seemed kind of rushed. I think the older version just played it out better. But I don't know. It's really tricky because it's like again, like, I'm thankful for all the additions, and I understand that some things have to be taken like out and changed. Like, I'm not saying like everything had to stay. Like with the whole Alexandra thing, with the Golden Light thing, it makes sense to take that out. I get that. Go to the Dragon's trial with he was literally on the table. Canon, they change it to the Servant's Trial. That makes sense. There's other things that I can go on and on about that makes sense that has been taken out. Like, I get it. The apartment complex, where the older version you had like Madam X like swoop on in after like you started like reading her diary. They took it out because like it added too much. Like, there's different points within the game. Like, I get it. That's fine. I understand why some things have to get taken out and change. I'm not against that. But there's just some things that I'm just kind of like, but why though? Why with the dialogue? Why something as significant as the whole Dr. Isha thing? Or, you know, watering down, in my view, the whole Venom thing. I just feel that the older versions just did it better. I'm going in circles. Let me stop on that. It's just my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. But yeah, I'll stop there. I could have worded it all better, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyways, enough of that. If you want to leave your opinions, that's fine, but that's just how I see and feel about it. But anyways, enough of that. Sorry. On to the quest. We have a lot of quests we need to go through. So I'm gonna be honest. The next, what is this? 122? Yeah, part 122. Oh man, we have a lot. Because we have, well, 8-bit Doctor. I guess we can do that now. Alright, I'm back. I know I've had to pause multiple times, but that's okay. Right, quest. So, we have quite a few to go through, and what I'm going to do is read off the ones that I do want to get into. There might be a few more that I might add to the list because of, you know, 8-bit Doctor probably being one that we can do. So, yeah. So what I would like to do is Lost Souls. That's the one with Mosley and my man. We might actually dedicate that to like its own episode because it's a more lengthy one. We'll see though. But yeah, Lost Souls, Poliwag quest. I think I brought it up before. I'm gonna do that one in the middle of the Forest Restoration quest because you kind of need a Poliwag for that quest. So to keep it simple, we'll do that within that one. The Litwick quest, that's mainly just finishing that one up, getting the Cursed Candle. I think since we're back in the city, we can get one pretty soon, so I want to get that done at some given point. The Badge Doors, right. That's what we'll do on its own episode with 2 other quests that I'll point out when we get to that point. Ben Stolen Mill Tank, Oshawott Quest, Wall of Shame. Right, we have to do the one Hub Center quest in order to finish that one. Spiteful X, I think we could do that one in the city. SPU Delivery, I think you get a karma point for that one, by the way. Flora's Puzzle Box, Classified Information, Missing Children. Those two are going to be for the Grand Dream City Help Center request. So, yeah, we'll get into those soon. Patricia's Letter, that is something that requires Missing Children to be completed, if I'm not mistaken. Well, Missing Children is an ongoing quest, so yeah. Now, here's the tricky thing. What I'm gonna do for Missing Children is I'm gonna go through the first two, I guess, like chapters that you can do with that. Finish up the third one, like the newest one with V13.5, as its own video later on this series. I think that's what we're going to do for that one, because we have to get the karma files pretty much in order to get to the new stuff with that one. So yeah, but Missing Children and Classified Information, we'll make that as one episode, but then far down the line, the third part to that, we'll do it as its own episode at whatever point we do it within the series. Patricia's Letters, right, again, that goes into Missing Children. Kimono Girls, Strange House, Heliojack Island Dive, that's another one that I want to do as its own episode with the badge doors to go into some theory stuff with all of that. Testa Resort Dive, same thing. Submarine Quest, that's the one with Jolene. Right, Mr. Luck's Technique contract. I was told to get some of those contracts, so I'll definitely need to get some black shards, if I'm not mistaken, or prism shards, whatever they're called. So yeah, there's probably again a few more, so I'll get this listed and look at the quest stuff that can be completed up to this point. Oh, and we'll probably do a video. Well, no, throughout the series, I've shown like different like locations on getting like the shinies and whatnot, or well, starters, I should say. Yeah, I guess it's fine, but if somebody like, that's another thing. I like to do like a video going off of like an updated like video going about the I know I'm wording this weird. Different like starters, because like it's definitely changed quite a bit. I do want to do that soon, like updated videos on some of those quest videos, but anyways, for this series, what am I thinking? It's not only right, I want to do a video going after the pseudo legends, because there's quite a few that we can do. So yeah, we'll not do but capture. Oh right, I should do, at this point we could do the Gumi quest. Let me write that down. Well, I believe its actual name is Gumink, if I'm not mistaken. That is definitely going to be its own episode. Oh right, at this point we can get into Narcissa's hauntings. We could definitely do that one now. And then, right, the one with Spectre, we can get into that as well once we do Narcissus Hauntings. Man, there's so many. There's a lot. I guess I could check the guide real quick. See if there's anything else. Now for the more smaller medium like random quests, we'll do a bunch of them as like a one episode thing, or like 1 to 2 episodes depending on how long the video gets. For the more like lengthy quests, it'll be its own thing pretty much. There's just going to be a lot of episodes. Just being honest, there's going to be a lot. Doing like quests and whatnot. Because how many is there? There's 98 total. Let me read. Xenogene, that's later. Parks and Recs, that's later. Let me scroll up a little bit. Lux Apartment. Yeah, that's for the Gibble. Evergreen Trench Quest? What's that? Oh, that's the submarine one. Right, right. Okay. Poisonous Luck. Okay. Poisonous Luck, I guess, is one we can do. But we need 13 black prisms. I think I can go back to the one area to farm them from Jenner, though, if I'm not mistaken. Bagon Togepi quest. During Paragon, speak to Talon in the Treasure Tree House. I don't know if we can do that one. But I guess I can write it down. Bagon Togepi quest. I think that's during, like, Karma Files, though. Maybe not. Fennekin quest, right? That the Fennekin quest we can do. Yes, we can do the Fennekin one. 8-bit Doctor, that's the new one. Okay. The Hero Slime, that's the Gumi one. Right, Hidden Library, the final one. Man, there is a lot that we need to get through. Hidden Library. Final. Right, and the Aquarium quest. I kind of want to do that one off screen, but this series I want to do it all in video, so we'll do it as well. The main reason I don't mind like redoing it as like a video, but it's just I already have like a tutorial video going over every location of those Pokemon, but we'll still do another one here. I might just like cut up the video like very like quickly, like here's that Pokemon, that one, that one, that one, that one, and just go through it pretty quickly. Let's see, Magikarps. Right, we need Forest Restoration done, but that's... However, you will not be able to progress this until you start Karma Files. Okay, hold up. Then let me put the word Karma Files next to it. Okay, so we can't do that one right now. A Shipwreck, Mall Opportunities, Forest Restoration, Pokeball Conundrum, Reborn Again. Yeah, I think that's most of them. Because I could just write Help Center Neo, and that'll include those ones there. So yeah, yep, we got a lot to go through. A lot to go through, honestly. What are we again? 122? Honestly, and I guess here's like the good thing about it is, let's just say, realistically, because a lot of these episodes are gonna have to be like their own episode, like Narcissus Hauntings, some of the help center requests and whatnot. If I can get somehow, which I don't know if I would be able to, I will attempt it, but I don't know if I can. If I can finish all of that in the next 8 episodes, get to exactly 130, and then continue the story, there really isn't that many quests left, honestly. Because you have Magikarps. You have... Well, let me just read it real quick. Because if we get most of that done, or well, not most, all of what I listed off there, all that's left is Xenogene, Parks and Rex, Heart of Iron, Anju Regice Quest, Vivian's Regret, that's 5, Legendary Wings is 6, and then honestly just the other ones that haven't been completed. Because what's still not done yet? Pictozumi's 1, Zygarde quest is not done. Right, Virtual Badge. Man, there's so many. I guess I should just like... I have these ones that I want to do. Let me write these ones too. I mean, I might as well. Which No, I can't finish Pictozumi right now. No, I can't. Pictozumi. Zygarde. Quest. Right, Virtual Badge. Lost Girl. No, we did do that one. I'm sorry. Oh, right, the Colvier sisters. Right. We could definitely do that. Okay. Karina, we did do that. Painter, yes. Alright, Poliwag inconsistencies. Abnormal phenomena, yes. Did do that. Sorry, I'm just scrolling and... Infinite potential? No, yeah, we did do that. Yeah, we've done a lot so far. Yeah, man, we have. Okay. Let's see. I don't know why I just whispered there, sorry. Virtual badge, yep. Picto, Zygarde. Yeah, so Pictozumi can't be done yet. Zygarde quest, I don't know if it can be done or completed right now. I'd have to read that again. Virtual badge we can do. Kovier clan we can do. But yeah, I don't know. Now for the next episode, I'm honestly thinking... I almost kind of want to get the big stuff out of the way first. Like, I think I kind of want to do the Grand Dream City Help Center quest. Just get those done. And then... I don't know. Yeah, observer hidden that. I don't know. There's just it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not a bad thing. It's just I really wish I would have done some of these on some of the other episodes, but it is what it is. I was really wanting to get into the story, you know. But that's okay. I do enjoy these quests. It's just it's gonna take a lot of time. It'd be nice to, you know, have it even and finish at 1:30, but I don't know if that's really going to be doable because there is a lot. But yeah, I think, yeah, let's do this. I think next episode we'll start with Grand Dream City's Help Center request, getting classified information and missing children done. And then after that, you know what, yeah, I think it kind of like works out. Because let's do this. Let's focus on the next first few episodes, focusing around like the Grand Dream City area and like Route 7, 8, 9, etc, etc. Let's get those done and completed for the most part, and then we'll kind of transition back to Avium. Well, Avium, we're in Avium. The mainland is what I'm trying to say. So we'll go there, do the East Gear Neo Help Center quest, and do some of those quests there. And then get into some of the quests, collecting some of the Pokemon and whatnot, the Aquarium quest. And then I would like the final one to be the one going through the badge doors, the Heliojack dive spot, and what was it again? The one dive spot by Tesla Resort. Right. It'll be something like that. I don't know how I'm gonna break it down and whatnot. But yeah, the bigger quests and whatnot, like Narcissus Hauntings, Lost Children or Kids, whatever that was, Lost Souls, sorry, etc, etc. Those will probably be its own episode. And then the more smaller, medium-sized quests, I'll probably like bundle them up into one episode. And then for Help Center requests, those will be its own episode. So yeah, which also reminds me that missing kids, missing children and classified information, that's gonna be one lengthy video. Same thing with the East Gear Neo. That's the thing, I kind of want to break them apart because that's gonna be easily both of them. East Gear Neo and Grand Dream City, that's easily gonna be like 2+ hours, easily. I mean, I'm fine with it, but that's a lot. But to be fair, we've been doing a lot on this channel so many times and definitely ain't gonna stop, so yeah. I just need to stop overthinking it. Don't overthink, just do. So we'll get there when we get there. I think we'll start with the help center quest for Grand Dream City, focus on this area, and then once we get most of the stuff, quest and yada 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 done here, we'll go on into East Gear and Neo and the mainland, get a lot of that done, and then hopefully we'll get this all tidied up, cleaned up, and get most of it done. But again, once we go over this, the big hurdle on quest, it's mostly over with. So yeah, and I'm not trying to word it as like a bad thing to go through like quest. I very much enjoy the quest. It's just I've been having fun with the story, man. I really have. But when we get over the hurdle, it's smooth sailing back into the main story with just a few more quests here and there that are honestly like really fun as well. So yeah, but with that, that'll be it for today's episode. Sorry for the very lengthy video. I know like it was originally around 50 something minutes, but just with me ranting and whatnot has caused it to be like an hour and a half. So yeah, you know me, it's just how I am sometimes. But anyways, thank you guys to anybody that has decided to stick along for the series, whether you may have liked it or maybe you didn't really like it. Apologies for that. I know I'm far from being the best, but it's just how I am with these kind of videos, and as I've always said, I know I'm not for everybody. So yeah, whether you did or didn't watch it, gave it a chance, or you've been enjoying it from start to finish, maybe skipping around listening to theories or the battles or all of it, or just it being background noise, whatever it is, I just want to say thank you. I love you guys. I truly wish nothing but the best for all of you, and just again, thank you for the love and support throughout this series, man. It means a lot to me. We're close to 650 subs. Definitely is surprising to me to even have that many. I know, again, it's not a lot, but to me it's way more than I ever could have imagined. And at least getting, and I know like we don't get like a lot of views. I think most of the newer episodes of Rejuvenation, we're kind of lucky to break the 50 viewpoint if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, I very much enjoy it. I love doing these kind of videos, and it's something that I've always said, if I can at least help one person with this elaborate game, or any of my tutorial videos in general, then it's all worth it. So I'm very happy to help out, to do these kind of videos, and hopefully I can continue to make more of them. So yeah, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves out there. Stay hydrated. I'll see you guys in the next episode when we go through the gauntlet of side quests. So yeah, love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. Go get some water. And good morning.